You'll take up this post, of course, in mid-January, and you've reached this position partly as a result of France's support for you. I'm wondering if you're in favour for France's push for deeper Eurozone integration in terms of a common budget, a single finance minister.
Well, thank you. Yes, I will be in charge of the first meeting of 2018 in 22nd of January. And the proposals that President Macron has put forward in his latest speech, they are very important. And we, of course, have to take them on board, as much as the proposals that Presidents Juncker and Tusk also are putting forward. We have lots of ideas, you know. That's the good thing about Europe these days. We have a strong economy. All member states of the Eurozone are growing at above 1.5% for the first time in many, many years. We have a balanced budget overall with a positive surplus including, and we have the ability to make the euro area grow a little bit faster and for a longer period of time if we implement the reforms needed. We have a long debate ahead of us, but it's also important to note that the time window that we have following the electoral cycle that several countries had recently, so it's an electoral political cycle that is just beginning. We need to take advantage of that and implement ambitious reforms.
Indeed, yes, ambitious reforms. Which of them do you prioritise? I understand you've said you want to get consensus within the Eurozone and that will be part of your role, but what do you prioritise? Do you prioritise a common budget? Do you prioritise, for example, expanding the remit of the European Stability Mechanism to become a little bit more like the IMF, a European Monetary Fund?
Yes, I think, of course, being the chair of the Eurogroup, I have to be a generator of consensus. So my opinion is important, but I'm more of a listener now than.
But what is your opinion?
No, yes. So, but I'm going to my opinion because I think I can translate what has been going on in the Eurogroup in the last couple of months, and the banking union, the issues on the financial sector, the risk reduction and then risk sharing measures, which I prefer to call a better risk management within the area, and certainly the issues you raised on the stability mechanism to strengthen it, to allow it also to respond to other different needs in the Eurozone. So these are, I think, the main priorities. Then we have a discussion on the budget. We have a discussion on other issues that will make the Eurozone, the largest single market in the world, a much more stronger economy into the future.
We're also hearing from officials with knowledge of the discussions that EU finance ministers will discuss the US tax plan over breakfast tomorrow. What exactly will be discussed?
Well, it's very important decisions that big economies take, and we have to discuss them. I think it will be a very general discussion on the impact it might have in the world economy. We think it's really important for the euro area competitiveness to follow developments around the world. We need to keep pushing for this stream of very positive figures that we have been getting lately in terms of our economy, and all shocks to the constructed equilibria that we have in the world need to be considered, and certainly the domestic policy of the US is of major importance for us.
Yeah, it's interesting what you say about Eurozone competitiveness. If we do get the tax cuts out of the US, how does the Eurozone stay competitive? Is it about Eurozone tax harmonization and setting that rate at something like 25%?
Well, that will be a change. We have a very strong fiscal position in the Eurozone. We think it's very important to get confidence to the markets. The heterogeneity that we once had in the Eurozone, within the Eurozone, is now much more mitigated. We have to continue in doing that to seek convergence, and convergence means that all member states need to grow at faster rates, and we see a more coherent policy as a whole for the Eurozone, which again, one of the essential pillars is the financial stability, which can only be made or achieved if we also have the fiscal policy orientation that we all agreed need to be taken into account.
Is the ultimate goal fiscal union then?
Yes, it can be. It can be one of the following steps. To be totally honest with you, I think we need to have deeper discussions on that. Some issues already arisen in previous meetings, but there's a long way still to get there. That's my perception at this stage.
A long way to go to fiscal union. So in terms of if we did have EU tax harmonisation or Eurozone tax harmonisation, could you put a figure on what would be sensible? 25%, even lower?
It's very difficult, to be totally honest with you. We have been discussing issues related with corporate income tax. France, for example, has put forward some initiatives in that direction. We are still building on that. I think it's too early, definitely, to step to specific tax levels, nominal taxes.
You were talking about financial stability. It's also early days for a certain asset, Bitcoin. I wanted to ask you about that. I know you're not a regulator, but are you concerned at all about the impact of Bitcoin on Eurozone financial stability?
Well, some of the European regulators, as other regulators, talked about that and discussed that very recently. I think they are aware of it. They are following it. As a Minister of Finance, let me tell you that I'm confident that they are really overseeing the general picture. If we go again into trouble with some sort of bubble in the financial markets, that will be not a pleasant outcome at this stage. I think the regulators now are much more aware of that, and they will be doing the job.
Okay, thank you so much.